Good evening and welcome to Sell Your Own Product on Amazon for Income and Lifestyle. Uh, Welcome. What a neat day it's been. It's been a gorgeous day down here in South Florida. It was kind of cool for this time of year, which my wife was jumping up and down, and everybody's having a good time. Be out in the boat. Today's a beautiful day. You couldn't have asked for a nicer day, I'm telling you. And so, welcome, and we're going to have a good time tonight because this is one of the most popular topics that we do. You know, we've been doing this for, 2 years now or whatever, and every time I talk about from buying your product in China and shipping it to Amazon, that's one of the most watched videos that we do, hangouts that we do. I think the one we did about 7-8 months ago is up over 2,000 views now, something like that, because this is a main topic. And one of the reasons it's so important is because I'm going to be honest with you, there is just nothing but a lot of garbage out there by people who don't know what they're doing, don't know what they're saying. I'm not saying I know everything, but gosh darn it, some of the stuff that I hear and I read and stuff like that is just plain garbage. And but that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So listen to me. You don't have to listen to me. I'm not saying I'm an expert in everything, but some of these things, they just take this and bring products from China to Amazon. They just make it into so hard and so difficult that you think, my gosh, and it scares even the people in my course sometimes because they hear all this stuff, not from me, but from other people they listen to, which they should, and all that they do. But like I say, there's a lot of garbage on this subject, and so we're going to talk about it tonight. And before I do, just talk a little bit about our sponsor, which of course is the product. And I keep saying I'm going to change this. I think I've said it now, I don't know how many times, but it's up over to 57. We've got 10 more videos on what we're talking about there, which doesn't make any difference because we'll probably add more videos yet this weekend because I got a couple topics I want to do. And what the thing is, Amazon changes all the time. And not only Amazon change, other things change. And so when they change, we put out a new video. A lot of times we take an old video and just trash it and put a new video out because things have changed in it. Other times we put new videos in there. Like I say, we're up to about 57 videos now, which doesn't make anything. But this is a course that you can take, and if you want to work it yourself, you're welcome to. Everything is pretty much there, and it's step after step after step. And if you follow it, you're going to end up with products on Amazon and selling on Amazon. If you want us to take you hand by the hand and show you and show you exactly how to do it, exactly how to source, exactly how to find products and all that, then we're going to do that. Matter of fact, I just got off from a really neat guy that's pretty much a new person on the course or something like that. He's picked out some products. I'm going to tell you something that 6 months from now, I'm going to have him on the show, and maybe we'll talk about that because he's got some neat stuff going on, and that's the way it should be. We've got all kind of new people in the course. They're all the time because we get new students every week. As you know, it's just not one of those courses where it goes for 6-8 weeks, something like that. They do a video once a week, and then it's over with, and then you're on your own. That's not the way this course goes. It's a lifetime course, lifetime thing. And I just had, matter of fact, one of the first guys that ever took the course or something, I probably talked to him at least 3 to 4 times a week on the telephone, or we text back and forth and that, because he's always got ideas, and he's a neat guy, and we just kind of talk back and forth anyway. But that's being said. So what I'm trying to say is, whichever way, if you want to do the course yourself, and just go on it and just ask me something every once in a while, that's fine. Or if you want me to talk to me every day, that's fine too, because that's what I'm here for. When you enroll in the course, the day you enroll in the course, you get my personal email address, and you get my personal cell phone number. You can call me whenever you want. Well, I'm usually available about from 9 in the morning till 9 at night, and I keep it like when I've got it on. It's right here, but if I've got it on and we're doing a program like that, I kind of keep it down or something like that so it doesn't disturb us. So anyway, that's what the course is, and I'm not going to space that much time about it. Let's go back over here to the beach. I like the beach, and there we are. It's neat, and we're going to go to the presentation here in just a few minutes. I just want to say that, like I say, this is an exciting, one of the most watched topics that we do broadcasts on, and I hope you get a lot out of it. And I'm probably going to hurt some feelings, some people's feelings here when I say some of this stuff, and that's okay. I still love you, but I'm going to speak what I think's right, and we're going to try and knock down some myths. One of the first things, well, let's go on over and let's get started with it. What can I say? Hold on just a minute, and we're there. There we are. So buying wholesale in China and shipping to Amazon FBA. When I first started this 3-4 years ago and started things, I didn't have anybody to follow. There was nobody. As you know, I remember the ASM course, and they gave some instructions in there and that, but it wasn't like that. You were pretty much left on your own, and you got it, and you did it, and you learned the hard way. And that's fine. I did that, and it was great. I had a good time, scary times sometimes, I'm going to be honest with you, good times, but I got it done. But now things are completely changed. There is some services out there where for little more than what you'd spend yourself, you can have the whole thing done for you. But we're going to get into it, and we're going to talk about that. And there's 2 questions that I constantly get asked. And I will bet well, probably tomorrow I'm going to get asked that again, because at least once, twice a week, I get these questions. And so get here, and we're going to get right here. 2 questions I get. There it is. Can I sell on Amazon USA as an international seller? In other words, here's this guy that lives over in Australia. Here's this guy or woman that lives in Jordan or something like that. They're asking me, can I sell on Amazon USA as an international seller? Yes, you can, without a doubt. There's no restriction. You can live anywhere and sell on Amazon. You could do from Russia. I don't care. And Amazon doesn't care either, as long as you do the things. The only problem you have in some of these foreign countries is it has to be something where the currency that Amazon can exchange, and they can pay you, and you can pay Amazon. That's basically about the only restriction there are, unless you've got some really personal stuff or something like that. But basically it's that. And I have a list in the course. I have a list. No, it's in one of the Hangouts, and that you can look it up on those countries that you can. And it's almost, there's very few countries that aren't. But if you don't live in a country where the Amazon cannot pay you, or you cannot pay you, what you do is you go to another country, maybe the country beside you or something like that, open a bank account and use that. It's real simple. It's not anything earth-shaking or anything like that. You can I send my order directly from the factory, directly from Amazon? Yes, you can. And I'm going to tell you, that's one of the differences, the main differences. Other courses are starting to catch on, but we've taught from the very beginning to send your product from the manufacturer right directly to Amazon. It's to not do is I think ludicrous, if you really want me to know, because you're doubling, you're tripling your shipping costs, and shipping costs are nothing to laugh at anymore. They're getting to the point where that's a good chunk of your expenditure, and the more you can save, the better off you're going to be. So can I send my order directly from the factory directly to Amazon? Yes, you can, and that's what we teach in this course. So with that's got those 2 out of the way. Yes, you can. Yes, you can sell on as an international seller. Can I send my directly from the factory? Matter of fact, in our course, we've got people from Jordan, one in China, 3 or 4 in Great Britain. I don't think there's anybody active. We got a couple graduates of the course from Australia. I don't think there's anybody. No, I don't think there's anybody active from Australia right now. But that doesn't. It could be tomorrow. We could get somebody from this. So that doesn't have anything to do with it. I'm just talking about that. And maybe I guess I was bragging a little bit. So what can I tell you? So let's go on. So who can import goods? Well, and this is taken almost directly from Amazon and other places like that. Importer of record. is required for merchandise entering the United States. The importer of record is responsible for ensuring the imported goods comply with local laws and regulation, filing a completed duty entry and associated documents, and paying the assessed import duties and other taxes on those goods. That's who the importer of record is. If I send stuff to Amazon, I am the importer of record. If you send stuff to Amazon, you're going to be the importer of record, or your company, whatever it is. But you have to take responsibility for that. Now, you're also going to need a customs agent and all that. We're going to talk about that later. And most of this stuff, well, let's go on. Who can import goods? Paying the excess duties. We're going to talk more a little bit detail about this later on. So what does Amazon say? Okay, Amazon is really clear on this, and this is one thing, and I still get questions about it every time I put this out. Amazon, including their fulfillment center, will not act as an importer of record for any shipments of FBA inventory. This applies to shipments of any size of value, regardless of origin and product. All right, it's real simple. Amazon will not be the importer of record. Like I say, that has to be you, your company, or your agent has to be the importer of record. So let's go on. Amazon says, continued, Amazon will not be responsible for or collect any duties, taxes, or shipping costs associated with FBA inventory. All shipments are required to use delivered duty paid, or some are referred to as free domicile. In other words, everything's are paid when it gets to Amazon shipping terms. Any shipping, any shipping arriving at an Amazon fulfillment center with collect charges, including any duties, taxes, or shipping costs, will be refused without further concession. In other words, what Amazon is playing, they say they want everything taken care of before it gets to Amazon. Amazon takes no responsibility for anything on your product. And that's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. Just to try to set it in anything like that, it is ridiculous. Amazon doesn't want to be responsible for your product, and they're not going to be. That's just pure sense, I guess, is what he want to say. So just bear that in mind. Amazon's not going to take responsibility for anything to do with your product, except when it comes in the right way, they will assume the responsibility and take charge of it after it gets to Amazon. And then they will put it in their thing, and they will ship it out and sell it for you and all that. So that just being said, so let's go on. All right. What will Amazon do? All right. An Amazon fulfillment center may be listed as the deliver to party. That's what they want to be. They want to be the deliver party. There cannot be the importer record or anything else. Deliver to party on your shipping document. Here's an example of how this should appear on your shipping document. And that one's one. Amazon.com, KYDC, and then here's where you put your legal name. Mine is Woodford's Cottage, so that mine is Terry Shire, DBA, Woodford's Cottage, care of FBA, 1850 Mercer Drive, Lexington, Kentucky, and that's what you put on the outside of your shipping carton that are coming from overseas, and you put your company name and all that. So that's what you have to be, and that's the way Amazon wants it. And if this doesn't come like that, then if you put something else on there or some other label or something else, Amazon's going to refuse it, guys. Amazon's going to refuse it. Okay, so it gets into the thing, and you heard me say this before. So I presume a lot of what we're talking about is going to come by ship, because if you're buying in quantities and if you're buying a really small item and it can be shipped by air and then profitable, then by all means do it. But most of the products sold on Amazon are not that way, unless you're selling jewelry or something. But if you're selling any of the other stuff, like I sold a lot of cutting boards, a lot of cutting board oil and stuff like that, it all comes by boat. It has to. It can't possibly be. It could be sent by air, but by the time you paid the air shipment and tack that onto the customer, the product would be out of the reach of most people, unless you just had your mother has to buy a bottle just to prove that she's got yours, but that's about the only way you're going to sell it. So we're talking about bear in mind. So we need to talk about custom brokers. So, and you've heard me mention this. And a custom broker, what is a custom broker? Are private individuals or firms licensed by U.S. Customs and Border Protection to prepare and file the necessary customs entries, arrange for the payment of duties owed, arrange for the release goods from the customs custody, and otherwise represent importers in customs matters. In other words, can't, as far as I know, you cannot represent yourself. You have to have a customs broker. You're going to have a bond, with that customs broker. So that's if you're going by sea. So let's go on here. Okay, here's who Amazon recommends. Now, hold on here a minute. That's the next one. Okay, here's who Amazon recommended custom brokers. All right, the first three are the air ones: FedEx, UPS, and DHL. You contact, if you've got an order coming from overseas and you want to know about it, the best thing you do is you call up FedEx or DHL or UPS, the international division, and they'll tell you, and they'll send you the forms, whatever has to be filled out, and that's all there is to it. And they will pick up the product and they will deliver it to your door. But most of us aren't that lucky that we can do it. Most of us are going to have to ship by sea. Now, when I say have to, I don't have to, but to pay the air freight on most products is ridiculous. When you can go shipping by sea costs you about a third of what it does to ship by air. So I mean, if whatever you want to tack onto your product, I want to make money, and well, we're going to talk about that later. How you can do it. That you can do it the lifestyle way, where you really don't have to touch much at all. All you have to do is work with them, get all the brands and all that straightened out, and get that to the supplier, and then you're good to go. So let's go on here. The customer. Oh, okay. Then I talked about the last thing in here are the ones Expeditors International and Samuel Shapiro. Now I'm going to tell you, for years I've been doing this, and I've always recommended Samuel Shapiro. And I told you that when I did that, Samuel Shapiro is not the most customer-friendly company, and I don't know how else to explain it to you except that they just aren't. They're matter of fact, and they do a good job. Get it where. Matter of fact, they're one of the few that have one little quirk which you might need to know about. It doesn't make a difference, but Samuel Shapiro, if you get them to take it, they bring you through a West Coast. If you're coming from China now, if you're coming from some other place, it could be different. But from China, they come into a West Coast port. They take the things. It doesn't come through customs. It gets loaded on a customs not cleared train and gets taken to Atlanta. And in Atlanta, your stuff you go through customs in Atlanta. If you're bringing it in with Shapiro, there's nothing wrong with that. Matter of fact, sometimes it's a little bit cheaper. You're going to get charged for the train ride, but actually you're shipping from it out your product to FBA from Atlanta, which is a heck of a good deal, because usually, as you know, if you get the Amazon 99% of the time, unless you're doing pallets, ships to 3 different FBA warehouses. Usually you can have one on the East Coast, one on the West Coast, and one in the center. Or it could be a little bit mixed up. Sometimes it's not exactly clear cut like that. But the problem is, so Atlanta is probably a better place to ship from than San Francisco or something like that. So just wanted to tell you about that. But that's Shapiro. Okay, but here, this is what Amazon. We suggest you contact your freight forwarder or courier in advance of shipping in inventory to understand their fees and requirements. Now, this is something I want to point out, and this is something that is really important, and most people forget about it, and a lot of people get themselves in deep doo-doo because they don't pay attention to this. Now, I don't know if you're aware about it. If you the way the laws are set up in the United States, and that what happens is you get this, say, manufacturer of let's just take this guy, Red Shoes, and this guy from the Red Shoes is really a good friend of a congressman, Matter of fact, they're bosom buddies. And so he talks to this congressman and says, can't you put a little import duty on red shoes so I don't have to compete so hard and something like that? And the congressman says, well, yeah, I think I can work it on. So what the congressman goes back and what happens, he attaches a red shoe rider to a bill that he knows is going to pass. And most of his colleagues know that he put it on there, and because it's him, and they're just going to let it fly. So all of a sudden, when you go to import red shoes, because of what happened, you're going to find there is a really high duty on those red shoes. Good or bad, I'm not going to argue that. But that's the way it happened. So all of a sudden, you're trying to import red shoes into the United States, and you find out, man, there is a $5 a pair duty on red shoes. So that increases your cost by $5, and so it probably will put you out of a competitive marketplace or something like that. But if you do it yourself, you're never going to know about that until you get to customs. If you've got a good customs broker and you talk to him beforehand, and like Amazon said, you contact him and find out and talk to him about your product and what it is and everything like that, you're going to know what the fees are beforehand. You're going to know that you don't want to bring that into the United States because you're going to lose that. I hope that makes sense to you. And that's one of the reasons you need a good customs broker. When you talk to FedEx and tell them the product and that, they're going to tell you the same thing. But a lot of times when you hire somebody from China, they're not going to tell you that red shoes have a real high duty. They could care less, because all they're going to do is take your product to the shores of the United States, and then they're going to transfer custody to your customs broker or somebody else. They're not going to respond, so they're not going to tell you about it. So for God's sakes, watch it, because there's traps when you go out and do this stuff all yourself. Now, I'm not saying you can't do it or anything like that, but I'm telling you there's different things you got to watch out for. And that's all I'm saying. So let's go on to the next slide here. Okay, and this here, I use Shapiro. This is an old slide that I've used for the last couple of years, and because, like I say, Shapiro does a good job. They're just a really hard company to, I don't want to use the word stomach, that's not it. They just are not customer friendly. I don't know why. I picture there's somebody up there in their main office with a whip or something that if they, I don't know, I'm just kidding. But like I say, they're not. But here's what they'll do for you. What you will need, you're going to need an account with Shapiro. And that's simple. Like anything else or any other thing, you're going to need an account. You're going to have to make Shapiro or Universal, any of these companies, Import Dojo, you're going to have to give them power of attorney, because they have to bring the stuff through customs. And the only way they can do it as your legal representative. And so they have to have power of attorney. So when they ask you for it and all that, don't get bent out of shape. They're not doing anything else that any other company want, because to bring it through customs, they have to have your power of attorney. It's a must. It's a rule set by the government. It's got nothing to do with them. Okay, you got to accept their terms and conditions, which they're standard, but read them over. Do your due diligence. And read them over. See as long as you agree with it. Customs bond, 1 year, Amazon requirement, and the last one I bought cost me $625. Like I say, it's a 1 year thing, but you have to redo it. So, and they go up every year, and I haven't, it's not quite time for mine this year. But so it might be a little bit more, but it's going to take, I'm going to tell you, don't wait to the last minute, because it takes 2 to 3 weeks to get a bond. Because it doesn't come from Shapiro or any of these companies. It comes from the customs office, and so they got to send it into Washington D.C. or wherever the customs office is. I don't know, and get it taken care of and get it to you. So it takes time. So bond takes 2 or 3 weeks. Don't wait to the last minute, because there product's going to sit, and it's going to collect not import duty, but it's going to collect. Warehouse space, what do I want to call it, those fees there, because they'll only give you a couple of days for each one of these steps. Anything after that, you're going to have to pay a warehouse fee. So do your diligence, get all that done. So what Shapiro, so here's what what Shapiro will do. It'll arrange for cargo pickup and finalize the arrangement. So in other words, what I'm saying is once your manufacturer says, hey, we're just about ready, we should have your order ready to go by next week and all that. So get everybody notified. And at that time, they will pretty much tell you that you're going to need to know if you're shipping a whole bunch of product, you're going to need to know the pallet size, the number of cases on the pallet. If you're not using pallets, they're going to pretty much, if shipping by sea, you're going to use pallet. You need to know the carton size, the number of units in the carton, and the length, width, and girth of the carton. And the same way with the pallet, you need to, so because Amazon's got regulations, and pretty much most suppliers out there ship to Amazon enough that they know these, but you're going to have to tell your customs agents and all these. So, and then you need to know, like I said, the carton size, and then how many units per carton. And then if you're just selling units, you just need to know units. But most of the time, you're either going to be importing cartons or you're going to be importing pallets. Probably once you get up there and once you get selling, you're going to be sorting pallets. So then when you tell Amazon that, how many pallets you got, how many cartons are on each pallet, and how many products are on each pallet. Oh, you need the weight of each carton too, if you're sending cartons. You know, you're going to need all that. So then you put that in the thing, click it on, and Amazon tells you where to send them. And then so you send those labels to your supplier. Supplier puts them on, especially if it's the pallet. You wrap your pallet, band it real good, and then you have to have a label on all four sides of the pallet up towards the top so they can see it. And there's all different requirements on that, and I'm not going to go into all that, but that's one of the things that Shapiro does, or any of these others, or Import Dojo. You know, they're going to check that, make sure everything's right. And so they're going to arrange for the cargo pickup and finalize the arrangement. They'll obtain a bill of lading. And then in case you don't know it, usually most of the time you pay for your goods 2 days after they're out on the ocean. The manufacturer will send you a invoice. You pay that invoice, and once you get it, then you're going to get a clear bill of. In other words, you take over the responsibility for those products. Once they're 2 days out, the manufacturer is going to send you an invoice. And then you pay that invoice, and once you do, then the manufacturer has nothing to do with the product anymore. It's all yours. It's all yours, baby. You know, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's the way it works. And so, by the time you get to the coast where they're coming in, those you're going to own those. You're going to have the proof of ownership like that. You give those to the customs agent because that's part of all the filing that has to be done to prove that you're the owner. They process the importer security filing, and once the cargo is collected, they will reweigh and measure. And I forgot that was earlier, but they'll just to make sure everything's going into Amazon right. Once the cargo is collected, they will reweigh and measure. Okay. Then once it's out in the ocean and all that, it's all done. Then Shapiro or Import Dojo or whoever we're talking about will make every attempt to pre-clear the entry with customs. In other words, they're going to go and say, hey, Mr. Customs Agent, here's what I've got coming in. I've got so many cartons, so many product in there, and this is what they are, and we'd like to pre-clear them for you. And so if it's not like, one thing that you got to watch is I've had a couple people tell me about they've had their product searched. So anything that could be, I'll tell you right now, anything that could be classified as drug paraphernalia, whether it has anything to do with drugs or not, but if it's a chance that it could be classified as drugs paraphernalia, you're going to get searched. You're flat out going to get searched. Tell you that right now. So that's all part of it, and that's all what your customs agent they're going to do for you. They're going to take care of that, arrange for that, and then once they've got it inside the United States, past customs, then they're going to arrange delivery to the designated Amazon fulfillment center. It's about as simple as you can get. What can I tell you? it's there. So that was the way. If you wanted to, I got this as you're in control way, and well, it's for, because the other way that's through Shapiro or Import Dojo or Universal, one of those others I'm telling you about. Okay, now you can do it if you want to take care of micromanage, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I'm not trying to build you, because a lot of people like to do this, and more power to you. I don't. I'd be the first to admit I don't like that, and I will pay extra money to get out of it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So, but you're in the control way. Once your manufacturer tells you, like I say, hey, my product's just about ready to ship, so how do you want me to do it? So give the manufacturer the pallet instructions from Amazon, also the label PDFs. And when you fill out that form on Amazon of what you're going to be sending in, and if you're going to do pallets, say we got a thing right there where there's a PDF of the pallet instructions and all the instructions like that. You could print that out. You can send that right to your manufacturer over in China. Chances are they might have it, but there's a chance they might not too. So it's real simple. It's in there, and it says right here, print out the pallet instructions and all that. You print those out. You send those to the manufacturer. So then that means the manufacturer's got. Now, here's a big catch sometimes. Will the manufacturer, is he close enough to the port that he will deliver your goods to the port, or are you going to have somebody come and pick the goods up from the manufacturer? Maybe he's 200 miles inland. Pick those up from the manufacturer and deliver it to the port. This is all stuff you've got to do. And your people over at your manufacturer will probably have all kind of people he can recommend to do this for you. The thing of it is, remember, it's just kind of like the United States. When you've got all this, they get a kickback of, if they recommend to this shipping company, and when the shipping company gets a job, they kick back to the manufacturer a little bit for that. And that's pretty much the way it works all over the United States. It works here in the United States. So it's called an affiliate commission, or whatever we're going to call it, but the way it's went. And so they like those commissions. So they're going to push those rather than you doing it through Shapiro or Import Dojo or one of those. But they do. But there's so much more you've got to be responsible for that personally I don't want to. But if you want, and you're in control when you do this, because then if, say, that manufacturer says, no, you've got to get somebody. So you're going to have to hire a local transporter over in China to go pick up the goods from the manufacturer and deliver them to the designated port you're going out of. All right. So once you get that set up and get that all, then you have to pick out a freight forwarder, or somebody that's going to pick up your product on the dock there, put it on the ship, and transport to the West Coast or one of the ports over there where it's going, and you're responsible for that. And that's all fine. You can do that. I've done it. So you work out the goods, and one of the things, about halfway through, they're going to contact you and say, Terry, who's going to pick up your product here before we go through customs? Do you have a customs agent? So by then you're going to have to hire a local customs agent, or one that's at least got an office in the West Coast there, so you can take care. So you hire the customs agent. So the customs agent, then they will get a hold of the forwarder and ask you what all the bills are and what everything else is. And so your customs agent, usually this is what it's always worked for me, customs agent will pay the forwarder and the shipping company and all that. So it's all arranged, all taken care of before you land, your product lands in the United States. And that's all taken care of, because you have to have that clear goods. You cannot take somebody else's product through customs. If you don't pay for it, you don't get the clear goods invoice, and customs won't let you take it through. So just tell you that right now. Everything's got to be paid, including the shipping company and everything else. So once you do that, you give that to the forwarder, the customs agent. The customs agent will pay that for you as long as you've got good standing. They'll pay it for you. They will pick it. They will pick it up from the shipper, and they will bring it through customs. They'll bring it through customs, and they'll bring it through customs, and they take it to their warehouse. Usually they these are people on the West Coast, or I've done it with here in Miami too. You can do it too, but they bring it through customs, and then from there they put the right labels on the right product and ship it to the right FBA center. If you have to be divided up into 3 FBA. If you're selling pallets, you might be pallet goes here, pallet goes there. Or if you sell so many cartons, 20 cartons here, 13 cartons here, like 3 different places. You understand what I'm saying? But that's all something that customs agent's going to do. And then they get all that ready, and then guess what? They want to get paid, and they're not going to send the stuff out until you pay them. So once they get it all ready, they send you a bill, you pay it, and then it goes out. It's just that simple. Unless I suppose maybe if you've been doing business with them for 20 years and all that and build up a good reputation, you might be able to be billed. But I don't think so. The way I've always done it, and I've always paid it. And it's a good feeling because you're all paid. You know that the stuff's on the way to FBA, and you own it. And you're ready to go, man. You got that part going in, and can't wait till it gets in and you get your first sale and say, ooh, hallelujah, man, it is over with. And then you can kind of sit back for a couple days and then start working on your next product. So what can I say? So that's the control way. And I'm going to say that I'm not going to knock that, but I'll tell you what, I've did it enough that I know that there's a lot of things that can go wrong. Let's say it's nothing that can't be corrected, and you take it, but you've got to know what you're doing. You've got to understand, because like I said, those people over in China, they're good, and they want to be good to you, but they don't know what the laws, and sometimes they forget certain things in that. And like I say, if you send something through that's got a big duty on there, and I know it had happened to somebody about 4 or 5 months ago, that, Terry, what do I do? My product is customs right there, and they want over $2,000 in duty. And I said, well, did you talk to the customs? No, I didn't talk. I just had it sent. They did. So, they didn't have much choice. And so that's a product they lost money on. I think they're still trying to get rid of it all, the product, because the extra $2,000 duty just kind of ruined the product for them. What can I say? So things happen, but that's when you're in control, that's what's responsible for. So what I say is that's what you're responsible for, and that's part of the deal. It comes with that. When you do the private label lifestyle way, like I'm talking about here, it's very simple. You contact with Import Dojo, and that's who I definitely recommend anymore. And I'll tell you in a little bit, because here's what you can get done from Import Dojo. You don't have to do all this. Some of this you can do. They'll do what you don't want to do, pretty much. So you contract with Import Dojo. They will, first of all, they'll source your product. You tell them, I had a customer the other day was looking for a special buckle made and stuff like that. Well, Import Dojo is helping them find it. They're going to get it. They're going to work with it. They're going to get the best price. And the next thing is that they arrange for a great price. And the reason I say this, and folks, I'm not trying, but you follow me in this. Most of the time when you're sourcing products, it's either you, or if you hire one of these sourcers who's probably a little old lady sitting at a desk, finding some products on Amazon she thinks would be good product, and she sources them for you over there and gives you this nice printed out sheet with all the particulars and everything like that. Let me see. And that lady, not knocking her, she's probably doing a good job, but she doesn't speak Chinese. She doesn't know the Chinese culture. She doesn't know any of that. She's working you a deal, and probably all right. But would you rather have her or somebody who lives in China, speaks the Chinese language, has been doing this for a number of years? Emmanuel and his crew have worked for Amazon. They've worked for Walmart, and quite a few other big name shippers. That's all they've done all their lives. And the neat thing about it is, like I say, they know most of the major manufacturers in China. They know them by name. They speak to them with the same language. So they're going to get you a price and a thing because they've got the reputation to come through and provide the clients, and they're going to get it for you. And so to take advantage of that, and it doesn't cost any more or anything like that to have Import Dojo source that. And to me, that is a great relief, because as much, and I can make real good friends, and I have a lot of friends over that I can call up and carry on a conversation and talk about their kids and all that, and they'll talk about mine and that, and that's all good, but it takes years to do that. So if you don't want to go through those years and you want to avoid the hassle and all that, you hire Import Dojo, So, and then once it's done and the brand and the things all worked out and all that, Import Dojo will work with that for you. As a matter of fact, if you already have your brand and logo and all that, they will take care of it. Just give it to them. They'll take it to the manufacturer, make sure it gets on, and they inspect everything before it comes. So, and then they work directly with Western Overseas, who is a customs broker and a shipper and all that, to ensure your product gets to Amazon FB the way you want and Amazon wants. That's the neat thing, because they inspect your product before they can inspect your product before it's ever shipped. You send them a sample of exactly the way you want it in the container you want and all that, and they will inspect it, make sure it's that, make sure the UPC code is on the right way. And by the way, you don't need a Fisco cube. That's I had somebody tell me the other day saying that, and that is just ludicrous. You don't need a Fisco cube. Why do you want to put a Fisco cube that covers up your UPC code on that? The only reason that, and Amazon is cracking down, and most of you probably heard it or not. Matter of fact, I read a real good article today and put it on the website about the UPC and that, because Amazon, it was Amazon's fault. They started to let you put 2-packs and 1-packs and everything under the same UPC, and so that's created the need for this Fisco label and then other people on it. But it's not going to be that way. The Amazon is really cracking down. So I don't want to get asked for another show. Maybe we'll talk about that. But Import Dojo, they work directly with Western Overseas to ensure your product gets to the right port when it goes through the customs and all that. And then the product gets shipped right to Amazon FBA. So basically, all you have to do is give Import Dojo an idea, or give them the product you want, provide them with the brand and the thing, and you have to okay the packaging when they give it to you, but just okay it. And then from that point on, they take care of everything else, and the product ends up at Amazon FBA. That's it, folks. You don't have to worry. You can be, instead of waiting till all this gets done and you're going and then you start another product, you can have another product halfway done when your first product is getting to Amazon. I realize that sometimes we start out as individuals. And as far as that goes, we stay. As a matter of fact, I'm still an individual. I don't. I've got a daughter that will help me every once in a while, but that's just if I'm sick or something and can't do something, she'll help me. And she understands a little bit, but doesn't. And I like it, but I don't want to carry the responsibility for all this stuff all the time, because I'm going to tell you, it's sweating when you've got a $5,000, $6,000, $10,000 worth of product riding on a ship. Anything can happen. If you have these people do it, you don't have to worry. They take care of it. They take through the right customs. They know the right people. Like I say, they speak the Chinese language. They understand. They've sourced for Amazon. They sourced for Walmart and all these people. They know how to get the product to the right port, so it gets to the right warehouse and in the right shipping. I don't know if you like Amazon. When the product comes into Amazon, whether it's FedEx or whatever shipper it's on or anything, or cargo truck or truck, it has to go to that company's terminal, or what do you want to call it, and it sits there, and then they send an I don't know whether it's called an invoice, or it's not an invoice, it's maybe bill lading or something like that, with the contents of that trailer. And they send it to Amazon. Amazon figures it out. Amazon gives them a 2-hour window to come to, and they back up to that thing. Amazon unloads that thing, and they've got everything figured out where it goes and all that, and it goes right in. And you don't have to worry about any of that. So what can I say? That is the private label lifestyle way. And it's the only way I'd recommend it. I don't know what to tell you, but that to me is priceless. So, all right, beach, where you at? Boat, there you go. We'll go back over on the boat. Can't find the beach. Here we go. We got to go around and all that. That's the this is the intercoastal. This part right here. That's Jupiter. No, yes, Jupiter Island. And then out there, that's where way down there is where Tiger Woods lives. I'm wrong way. I'm sorry. No, this way. Okay, that way. That's where Tiger Woods lives down there, maybe 3-4 miles, something like that. And all kind of people. That Jupiter Island. It's right there, and that's where I am down here in Florida. Which really nothing to tell. What can I tell you? So with that being said, I don't know if there's any questions out there. I'd be glad to answer questions. I will turn the chat button on. So, and right here, if anybody wants to chat or not. If not, why, it's just about time to quit anyway. I think we've only got about 10 minutes left. But we'll see. If there's any questions, I'll be glad to answer questions. If not, what can I tell you? We had a good time. I hope you enjoyed that. It's one of my favorite programs. Like I say, it always gets the biggest view because there's a lot of misconception out there. Like that thing, one of my things, FSCU labels. I get questioned all the time. There is absolutely no reason, if you're importing a product from China, that you need a FSCU label on it. It's ridiculous. You put your UPC on the box and then you put a FSCU label over the top of it. FSCU labels were created for the wholesale business, because in the wholesale business, everybody sells under the same brand. Say you look like like a cooler, an Igloo cooler. So if you go to Igloo coolers in a certain type or something like that, there might be 9, 10 different sellers under that same Igloo cooler. And so Amazon's got what they call a FSCU label. And so with that FSCU label, you put it on your product, which covers up the UPC, and then they take it and you send it in. And so Amazon can tell that when you get a sale, they make sure that your product gets sent to your customer. Now, you can also avoid that by putting in commingled inventory. Commingled inventory just means that your product goes in the same place as everybody. You don't have to put the FSCU label on. You just send it in under the UPC. Amazon takes it. And when you get a sale, Amazon takes the product out of the commingled inventory lot. Now, that might not be the one you sent in, might be the one that your next door neighbor sent in or anything, but if they're all brand new, they're all on their carton and everything, they're brand new, what difference does it make? You send it in and it's a lot simpler. You can get away from that FSCU label. Is a pain in the butt to put on. So what can I tell you? That's my little tirade about FSCU labels. And I see right now there's the chat box is open if somebody wants to ask me a question. If not, I'm going to sign off for the night too, because be honest with you, I did quite a few hangouts today, and I'm getting cold. I mean, not cold, getting old is what I'm saying. What can I tell you? What can I tell you? We had a good time tonight, and I hope you enjoyed it, because this is one of my favorite topics. Like I say, there's just so much bad stuff out there, and they really make it complicated. And I wish you could see some of the questions I get and stuff like that. That they've listened to somebody and somebody makes it so complicated, and it's really not. But to me, like I say, hire Import Dojo. On a $10,000 order, it might cost you an extra $200 to get Import Dojo to do what they're doing. It might even cost you a little bit more than that. But my gosh, it is worth it compared to have to worry about, like I say, your content's over there. Did it get transferred to the right people? Did the right people pick it up? Did the right people get it to the customs? The right agent? Is all the paperwork filled out and everything? That's all stuff that you got to worry about. when you do with Import Dojo, you don't. So what can I tell you? So with that, I guess I am going to sign off for tonight. I really appreciate you. I want you to know that joining me on these, because I know a lot of people can't because they're working. They've got other things and they watch it later. Like I say, a lot of times we don't have a big viewing audience when it's live. Sometimes that viewing audience would be maybe 10, 20 people or something like that. But like I say, this last one we did on this subject here had over 2,000 views. So we can see that's the reason I keep doing it. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate when I've got viewers there, because it really kind of picks me up when I know that people are watching. I can tell the number of viewers down there right now who's watching, and there's people there now, and I appreciate you. I want you to know that, because it encourages me. Sometimes when I'll get done and there's 0 viewers on there, and I think, oh gosh, is this worth it or something like that? But it is, because like I say, most of the people come and watch it later. But there's viewers there now. I appreciate you. I want you to know I thank you. And so I'm going to stop this, and I shall see you on the next